welcome to iiSulauncher, and today we are going to do a tutorial on the Christmas release of iiSU Alpha public build. It's a long name anyways. This is a huge leap from the previous Alpha build, and I've been using it as my daily launcher for weeks, and I can assure you that this is great, guys. A lot of bugs are being fixed already in this build, and now we have all those essential functions, including the scrapers, including launching games directly for psvita and Gamehub Lite. You can see I'm just going to launch a game directly for you, and it's just very good because this is the feature that we have been wanting from iiSU and ESDE, and now it works. And for example, for bug fix, originally we weren't able to load PSP games, and now we do. Guys, we have got themes on iiSU. Themes, guys. We haven't got that for Switch or Switch 2, and it's even released before GTA 6. That's amazing. Alright, without further delay, let's get into the tutorial. For the sake of this video, I'm going to use an Iron Nail Pocket Air to demonstrate the initial setup since I don't have iiSU installed here, but I also don't want to mess up my iiSU on my AY and Thor. I'm going to use this APK file, which is probably going to be different from what you are going to download because I'm doing this video before the release. So this is what I'm going to use, but basically that will be the same version as you're using. As usual, you'll have to download the APK file from the Gamehub, and after downloading the APK file, you can use whatever file explorer to install the app. After installing the app, you can click Open, and then there will be a greeting screen to walk you through the setup process. You can use both touchscreen or gamepad to navigate around. Then click Next and select your preferred home layout. For this video, I'm going to use standard, and you can choose white if you want. And then for the theme, I'm just going to go with the system. Now this is where you have to choose the folder for your ROM. So point this blue icon to the folder that you have placed your ROM. For example, I have it here. I have created a demonstration folder for iiSU, so this is where I place my ROMs, but you could place it in a different folder. And then click Use this folder. Then iiSU will scan the folders for you and tell you which folder has which kind of system. They have the emulators pre-configured for you, but you can also change it later. Let's say you have an empty folder called PSP. It will tell you that there is no ROM inside it, and it will not create a tab for you in the console tab. Click Next, and this is where you set up your retro achievement. If you don't have an account or don't want it, you can just press Next. If you want to log in your retro achievement account, you can put down your username and the API key and validate it and save. So I'm going to go through this process with you step by step. First of all, I'm going to input my username. Then we will have to get the web API key. Where we can get it is from the retro achievement official website. So now log into your account in retro achievement. Then click your icon on the right top corner, scroll down to Settings, and then scroll down. Scroll down and you'll find your web API key here. Long press it to copy and then paste it here. Then click Verify and Save. Now it has verified it, and you can click Next. On the next page, they will ask you which app you want to put on the home screen, and I'm going to put one as a demonstration. I'm going to put Crossy Row and click Next. Depends on how big your library is. It can take a very long time to scan all the consoles and prepare the assets, but since I have a small one, I just, it was just 1 second. And then I would suggest you to generate the hashes for each system if you have already logged into your retro achievement. It will help you to generate a little bit of the box art and so on. So if you don't want to do so, you can skip it. and it will also take some time to load. If your library is big, it is going to take a very long time. So I'm going to skip through a little bit to here, and then I would also preload all the things for my ROM because I don't want to get the PROM. If you are okay with the PROM, you can click the other one, and then it will go on to do the download and preparation and stuff like that. And it's gonna take a while, so I suggest you to just put it down and do something else. Once all the loadings has been finished, you will see the screen and click done, then you will be able to get into the iiSU launcher. So remember, I have set cross-zero as one of the quick access. So you can see cross-zero is now on my home screen. The screen here is not in DS mode, so it may look a little bit different from what we have on the AY and Thor. If you have logged into Retro Achievement, you may already get some box arts on your system, but not all of them since we have not set up the scraper. And depends on which system you are looking into, sometimes you already have all of them. You see that there is some flickering. This is not an error, they are just loading all the retro achievements that are available for that game, and once they have loaded, they will stop flickering. So I'm going to walk you through how to set up the scraper. It is not as straightforward, but it is not that difficult too. To set up the scraper, we click the iiSU icon, go to iiSU settings, and then scroll down to configure the IDGB credentials. So where do we get these credentials? There are two things that we have to input, the client ID and the secret. So this is where we get it, and I have put down this link in the description box. So first of all, we will have to get a Twitch account in order to be able to do so. If you do not have a Twitch account, this is where you have to sign up for a Twitch account. You can either use Google Play account or use your Apple account to make a Twitch account. So that is going to be very fast, and you have to turn on the two-factor authentication. So let's say you don't have a Twitch account, so you click on the Twitch link, and then you click login, sign in, and then this is where you can sign up for the account. Click the sign up button and choose either Google account or use your email and so on, and follow their instruction to get the account. So that's the easy part. Assume you already got your Twitch account, and go back to this link and click enable the two-factor authentication and then sign in your account. Twitch will ask you to download an app to authenticate your signed in, and then you will get the authenticator on your phone and use that number in the authenticator to sign into Twitch. Now you have done the two-factor authentication, and we can go back to that page again. The next step is to set up the Twitch developer portal. As you have already logged into Twitch, you should be able to go to that page directly. I'm sorry that everything is in Japanese, but we should have the same page. So the first one is where you input the name. You can just put whatever you want randomly. And the next one is going to put down a redirectory URL. You can find that link in the description box and just paste it here. For category, I will just put down game integration, and you have to make sure you are clicking the secret part. And if the name doesn't work for you, you'll have to re-input another name. Just make sure it is working and there's no one taking that name. After you have created the page, you should see something like that. Since this is my second time, I have two. If this is your first time, you only have one. Then click manage, scroll down. So here, this is your client ID, and you will have to click the blue button for making a new secret. And this is going to be the secret that you have to put to the iiSU. So these two strings of numbers are what you needed for the scraper. Now go back to iiSU, paste the corresponding strings of the client ID and the client secret by clicking Edit Client ID and Edit Client Secret. Then we are done with the most tedious part. Now let's try to use it. Long press the system you want and then press the back button, and then you can see get update IGDB data for N64. So click it, and I suggest you to click auto select paths match, and then if you have already done some scraping or artwork on yourself, I would suggest skip games with the existing materials, but if don't, you can just download and update all of them. It's up to you. So let's go with the skip games with existing artwork. Then it will automatically find these artworks for you, including the title, hero, slide, and icon. And we can also change it later on. So we'll talk about how to change the artworks to whatever we want, and what would be the naming conventions and where would be the folders later on. But now let's just focus on the scraper. This is what you see once the scraping is done. Then we can go back to the system and see how it is going. So you can see the missing artworks are now here, and it just look very great. But you see if there is some fake flickering, as we mentioned, this is just because the retro achievements are being loaded here, so you don't have to worry about that. So let's just try another system. This is Wonders1 color, and we don't have any artwork here. Again, non-press it, back button, then get update IGDB data, auto select, and this time we are trying to download and update all games. So now it is going to work for us, and it will take a while. Let's skip it through. Now it's done, and let's get into Wonders1 color to see what is being scraped. So there's only one game missing the artwork, and the rest of them are having the artworks here. So which is quite good, because you know Wonders1 color is a Japanese only console. So you can see this database is actually copying with these other region games quite well as well. And for that missing artwork, if you want to get the artwork, you probably need to do it manually, and we are going to explain how to add artwork manually now. Alright, now we are back on AYN Store, and I want you to open your File Explorer or whatever you're exploring your folders, and we have to go to the internal storage, Android, Media, iiSU Launcher, and Assets. This time we have different folder structure from the before. Before we have all these ROMs and stuff that are having our artworks, and now all of them are going to be moved to the Media folder. Inside the media folder, we also have Android and ROMs. For Android, those obviously are the apps that we are using, and you have to launch that app to generate a folder. And if you don't have anything, obviously it is going to just show you the icon as what originally. And for those that I have already edited, I have put down the hero, icon, slide, and title. And these are going to be shown. So for example here, the icon is going to be the original one, so it is not reflected. But for the title, slide, and heroes, those are going to be shown on the top screen. So if you want to change the artwork for your Android apps, this is how you can do it. And remember, we have to make sure the naming conventions are correct. So we'll talk about that later. And for ROMs, now we have the console folder to hold all the consoles that you have. You should already have all the folders created for each ROM if you have already selected those folders during the initial setup on the welcome page. But if you don't, you can also add those folders later on. To do so, click the console button on the bottom screen and then click plus. Then choose the corresponding console that you would like to add. I'll just pick a random one here. By basically iiSU will pick the emulator for you, but if you don't want to use it, you can also change whether to use RetroArch or different calls and so on, and then you will be able to choose which folder is the ROM placed. So just randomly pick one and then click use this folder, allow, and you'll be able to add a new tab. You can then you can need to save it, but for this is just for demonstration, so I'm not going to do it. And now moving back to that folder, let's say you have already got your scraper, you have scraped a 3DS folder, and then you want to change a few files inside that game. Let's use Zelda as an example. So I'll click the corresponding folder for that ROM, and you see there are already some slides and icons and hero inside this folder. I have already changed out the hero, icon, and title. So whenever you want to change the artworks here, first of all, you have to understand the naming convention. The hero-1 is going to be the first image that it is showing as the background image. So if you only want one image without like going through slideshows, you only need one hero. And click it bigger. This is the one I'm using for title. Normally this is going to be the icon folder. I'm sorry, this is the icon, and I'm using the same file as title because I want it to be consistent. So what it would look like, is here. So let me just scroll through. You can see I already have similar setup for other games. So this is how it looks like. Once again, you have the hero as a background. The middle one that is showing on the screen is title. So you have to name it correctly, and you have to copy and paste the icon file and then rename it into title. Make sure everything is lowercase, there is no space, or otherwise it is not going to show. Normally you should have a white background behind everything, but since I've set up the theme, it looks differently. And with the scraper, we should already get the hero, the slide and title and the icon. But if you really don't like them, and if you like consistency like me, you probably need to remake all these icons and titles yourself. Because I've already set up a theme, it won't look like a plain background even without the hero. So probably moving forward, I won't work that much on my heroes, but I will just focus on making some new titles and icons, which is the same file, and also get some screen capture of the gameplay to use it as a slide. So once again, in order to make sure every artwork is appearing, this is the naming convention. Hero _1 for the background, icon for the icon that is appearing on your home screen, title for the image that is going to appear in the middle of your top screen, and slide 1, slide 2, and slide whatever, which is the little picture that is going to appear on the bottom left of your top screen. If you want the background of the top screen to be a slideshow of that game, you can also add Hero 2, Hero 3, and Hero 4 and so on. So that's the idea. Before we start talking about the theme, I just want to mention that at the bottom screen, there is a longer button, and that button is the resume last game or last app button. So the last game that you have played or the last app that you have launched, now you can click that button to resume that particular app. It'll basically launch everything, so I strongly recommend you to try this button. This is very convenient. And now I want to move on to themes, which is one of the big topic for today. And for the theme folder, we actually have to create one new folder called themes. It has to be located inside the assets folder, and it has to be named exactly the same. Uppercase THEMES without space. Then you will have to create the subfolder for each of the theme. You can create as much as you want, and there is no naming convention for the subfolders. So I'm going to demonstrate what is inside. First of all, I have this detailed background MP4. I have to say that this is just a video I grabbed from the YouTube. This is not belong to me, and it is not also coming from iiSU, so bear that in mind. And for the other one, I have edited out the timer, so there is no timer, and we'll be able to tell the difference. And for the background at the bottom screen, it has to be named as home underline background, and once again the video up on the top screen has to be named as detailed underline background. So if you want to use a video as the background of their top screen, you can do so. If you want to do a video for the bottom screen, you can also do so. There's also an option in the custom theme to disable the video background. If you do not have any PNG background for the detailed page, you'll see a blank space in the background. But if you have another picture, per se, I have the other wallpaper that is a static wallpaper in my cat theme. This is what you will see, a static background. So it depends on whether you want a live wallpaper or not. This is how you can set your theme. In the last part of this video, I'm going to explain how to launch psvita games and Gamehub Lite games directly from iiSU Launcher. They are doing the exact same thing as ESDE Launcher. So if you have already set up the .steam file and .psvita file for ESDE, you will be able to skip this part. I will go through psvita first. These are the psvita files that I have set up for my games. You can open them using the text editor, and to see there is a string of numbers, and this is actually the game ID. So where can we get this game ID? I will show you, and it is actually very easy. You can go to search for No Pay Station. Now go to browse, and you'll find a lot of games. You can search for the game that you want to play and you have on your iiSulauncher or any system. Once you have found your games, click on it and you'll see the content ID. The numbers after your regional code starting from P to the next underline. So from the first dash to the next underline, this string here is going to be your game ID, and you can go ahead to copy that onto a text file. So this is what I have inside the text file. And that's pretty much about it. You can name it whatever you want and change the extension to .psvita. Let's say I'm creating a file here. And then you can click on the file, change it to a text, open it. And then I can go back to the No Pay Station to paste that particular ID number here. Copy, paste. You may have to click edit and then save it. So now we have saved the file, and we can change the extension to, well, we can change the name first, and then we can also change the extension to .psvita. Personally, I think it is a lot easier to do this on PC than that of an iiSulauncher, but you can also do this in this way, and that will be the same file as the other .psvita. And once you have got the files, the .psvita files, you can go ahead to point the directory to where you have stored all this psvita file, and then iiSU will catch these files. you can do update tab or so on, and it will help you to find the files. Since it is the same game, it is not going to be appeared here, but that's the idea. For Gamehub Lite, it is going to be the same idea. We need a .steam file, and I'll put down a link of a video talking about how to make the .steam file. And currently, I can only open the Steam games, but not the local games. So let me just quickly show you. This is the game ID, and we can actually find the ID from SteamDB and so on. So there's just a lot of information you can find online, and I'll make sure I put down the video to explain about that as well. Finally, let's talk about how to set iiSU as your home launcher. Open Settings from Android, go to Apps, scroll down and go to Default Apps. Now you can change the home app to whatever launcher you want, and for this time we are going to use iiSU as the home launcher. So that's how you can turn on iiSU right after starting your A1 or any console that you are using. As long as you press home, even if it crashed out of it, it will go back to iiSU every time. So that's the idea, and that's pretty much about today's tutorial. So if you has gone to this point that far, thank you very much for bearing with me. I know this is a very long tutorial, and I do have a Christmas present to all of my subscribers. If you have already subscribed to my channel, you'll be able to unlock a link to my assets folder. I'll put down all my themes and all my assets, including these icons and title screen and so on, for all my games. There are blank folders inside my asset folder. I'm sorry, I'm still working on it. So maybe there will be a 1.0 version or 2.0 version in the future that I will update the link in the future. But for the time being, I will upload the assets folder that I have currently, and you can use that folder to copy and paste those files that you need, and also grab my theme. And that's pretty much about today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and find it helpful, and I also wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I'm probably going to upload another video very soon on the decoration for my Switch 2. I'm going to redecorate it, and I do hope I have time to upload another video before the end of this year. See you in my next video. Bye!